them. I don't know. Just went to the grocery. It's not like something's going to suddenly appear just because I closed and opened the door. What are you guys gonna eat? I know that it's been a while. As I'm sure you can tell from the title of this video, I've actually just come out of a hypomanic episode. So for those of you who don't know what a hypomanic episode is, here is normal or average person without mental illness or just average everyday, right? Then there's hypomania, which is a step up from that. Then there's mania, right? Or manic episode. Usually I'm in the manic. Now I am actually being educated. I am able to recognize the signs of what I'm going through, that things aren't quite right, which according to my therapist is huge for me. It's supposed to be a win, but in all honesty, being hypomanic, which is in between mania and average or stable is what we really call it, stable. I gotta be honest, having an episode at all was kind of disappointing for me. The fact that it didn't turn into mania is definitely a plus. The fact that I had a team of people that I could count on and talk to in a safe environment and express what I was going through and how I felt about it, that proved to be the best thing for me. We put some precautions in place so that I didn't make the same mistakes that I always made before when it came to life-altering decisions that not only changed my life, but my children's lives. I was able to get through this without doing that. And that's really big for me. This is my first episode since being medicated. If you are unaware, you are absolutely able to have a manic episode whether you're being medicated or not. It's not that I've missed a dose or I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. In actuality, because I'm doing all of those things, that's why I was able to get through it the way I did. Now, I did have symptoms. Some of them... I was editing this video and I realized that I sat down and just recorded that in the spur of the moment. Not only is it kind of depressing and not funny at all, but I feel like I didn't really say everything that I wanted to say, especially my symptoms that I was having. So I wanted to kind of give you a rundown of what they were. This may be repeated later, but just to give you an idea of what I was really experiencing, I kind of jotted them down as I thought of them. So depression was a big one. More depression than what I've normally been having. With that depression kind of comes like low self-esteem. I haven't been quick to like look in the mirror quite a bit. I wasn't fixing my hair quite as often. Now I'm over that, of course, but that kind of comes with the depression. I have a hard time with that. I'm reading my notes here. Very hard time staying focused to even have a conversation. I know even in my therapist appointment, it was moments of me blanking and having to apologize because I can't, it's very difficult to sit and have just even a conversation with everything that's going on in my head. So focus was a big one. And a lot of times too, I could be sit down doing something and completely blank out and realize it's 10 minutes later and I haven't done what I was trying to do. That was difficult. I also had some impulse decisions, but definitely not impulse like they were before. Before, impulse decisions for me were like trying to move across country, insisting that I needed a man and trying to find one. That type of thing. This time, none of those things even crossed my mind. This time it was little things like wanting to chop off my hair, which was really weird. And I'm still debating on whether to chop off my hair. This was interesting for me. Racing thoughts came back full force. This was the only symptom I had that was full force as if it was full-on mania. The racing thoughts are starting to slow down now. At the time, they were so loud in my head. That's number one why I was having a hard time focusing. It was like several conversations going on at once, but they were so loud that you couldn't really focus on any one conversation. Definitely difficulty making decisions. It was kind of like I was on a seesaw constantly.
going mentally, back and forth. Should I do this or should I do that? Should I drink coffee or should I have tea? Should I drink water or should I... And I literally sometimes was so frustrated about trying to make a decision that I finally just gave up and didn't even decide. For me, that was difficult, and I don't remember having that symptom at all in full-blown mania. I don't know. It was weird. And the last one I have written down here, very little motivation. And I don't know if that came along with the depression, but there was definitely little motivation. It took me a lot to get out of bed. Normally, especially if I wake up on a bad day, it's a struggle to get up. But this time, it was like every day was 10 times harder. Good thing is, this time I was able to have a clear head and know what was going on and kept telling myself, this too shall pass. Just get up, keep going. As hard as it was, I kept up some sort of routine. I kept up with the kids. They barely noticed. They noticed some irritability, but that was about it. But I just wanted to stop in and just kind of give you an idea. Yes, there was a ton of symptoms that I had, but I was able to manage them. They weren't unbearable. They just kind of disrupted it, made things a little harder. But overall, I'm happy that I got through it. Anyways, back to the video.
Another thing, though, that's interesting, and I'm going to do an entire video on my cat because he plays a big role in my treatment, and I know it sounds odd and strange, but I promise you it's true. But one of the interesting things was I kind of noticed, I called it Moon becoming a big baby. He was very needy, just needed to be petted all the time, needed to be around me all the time. It was very strange. I couldn't sit down without him being all over me, no matter what I was doing. And in actuality, that's him letting me know, or him knowing, at least, that I needed something. He's such a sweetheart. How can you resist? I have a feeling that he just sensed that something wasn't right. He has an amazing ability to help calm me down, especially when I have racing thoughts. He's able to snap me out of them. He's just a really cool cat. And like I said, I will do eventually a video on him, all about him and what he does for me, and the amazing ability that not just cats but animals in general have for people who have mental illness. My biggest fear, though, is usually in my mania. I go into a very, very deep depression where it's very dark. It's very lonely. It's very hard to come out of. I don't know how low I'm going to go. Thank goodness I didn't go as high as I could have. When the depression sets in, if at all, I'm going to handle it accordingly. I have been able to come through some sort of episode and not have to clean up a mess. I have been able to come through some sort of episode and not have my children ripped up from their school. And my mother devastated that her daughter just packed up her kids and disappeared again. Like, I've been able to accomplish you have no idea how big that is for me. I'm 36, finally get it right. And I am so grateful. So incredibly grateful.
Overall, I feel like it was a giant success. As strange as it is, and as much as I hate that it happened at all, I'm glad that I had the team behind me that I had to get through it. I'm glad that I handled it the way that I did. I'm so proud of myself that I was able to recognize the signs, and not only recognize the signs, but keep doing what I'm doing, talk to who I was supposed to talk to, speak up about what was going on with me. This probably isn't my last one, and it's probably going to happen again. But at least this time I feel much more safe. Or let's put it this way, I feel less anxiety about what could happen. So I feel good overall. I was afraid to tell anyone because I didn't want anybody to panic. So there's probably quite a few people, though, that, especially family, that are going to be surprised by this. But just keep in mind, the fact that you're surprised is a good thing. That means I did what I was supposed to. It's because of my therapy. It's because of my medicine. It's because of all of those things.
One day at a time, baby steps all the way. I love you guys. Till next time.